5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, well, welcome to BZTV. We're here today to talk about the masks, the requirements for them. Do we wear them while we play disc golf, or do we wear them in public spaces, public places? It's mandated by our state governor to
in Texas,
to wear these masks in public or in buildings or public buildings, public spaces.
Public spaces, yeah. Well, they're actually going into where they're talking about having to wear it outside unless you're exercising. So what does that even mean? Because most time people are outside, you're exercising, even if you're mowing the grass, right? I mean, you're still exerting energy, which it might not be considered safe to wear a mask and cover up your face.
Yeah, I mean, but I would probably promote wearing a mask while mowing or weed eating, just because of all the dust that's
Right.
getting blown up into you. It's an interesting topic today that we wanted to discuss. Masks in general is like
At a certain point, you almost have to, like we talked about before we set up shop, set up to do the BZTV, we're talking about how it's hard to control a population and say, hey, this is a good idea, let's all do it for the better of all the people. But then you don't want to take someone's rights away and have the issues that are going on now where people are like using things like I was just reading about here, that they're using the, what does it say? Anti-mask protests are trying to commandeer U.S. disability laws. So they're saying that you can't ask me about my disabilities. I'm not wearing a mask, and you can't assume that I don't have a disability, so therefore you have to let me in. So there's all these things popping up that are causing friction between the people for different reasons.
And then people are feared of being sued, so then they're like, okay, we'll come in then. And then people, other people see those guys not wearing a mask, so they're like, well, if they're not wearing a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. And then it's kind of like a what do you call it, a domino effect.
It's like a peer pressure thing. It's like being back in high school when people are wearing certain things or not wearing certain things or told to do certain stuff. It's like a peer pressure, like, oh man, you must be scared. You're wearing a mask.
Yeah, or you just don't respect people because you're not wearing a mask.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a sense where I feel that I'll wear a mask out in public spaces, indoor when I go to the store or to a public library or whatever it's going to be, that other people are there. If they're requiring masks, then I'm going to wear a mask because they're requiring it. I'm not going to go, well, since I'm not going to do it. I don't care if you required it or not. I'm going to wear a mask because I'm not one of those people that are going to cause a problem. I'm more of a solution, like going along with the solution to help the greater cause in sense. But I'm not going to wear a mask out walking on the street because I don't feel like that's productive for myself or for anyone else. On a trail, walking on a trail, I'm not going to wear a mask. I did wear a mask last night at the fireworks, just because it was.
Oh yeah, you were out partying last night with all the people. How'd that go?
That was fun.
How they have it separated?
They had so the Wimberley fireworks show was set up very well. They had
I stayed home. I avoided all the stuff.
good spacing
He was
between the
out.
vehicles. They had at least 6 feet between the cars themselves, and then they had about 10 feet between the front and back of the car, so that people could get in their chairs and sit outside of their car and watch the fireworks. That was pretty cool. They requested that you don't mingle with other cars, so there was that space between. Since most of the time when people are showing up in one vehicle, they're a family, so they're all together most of the time anyway. So they're not really required to wear masks.
It's like a drive-in movie.
Yeah, so they were like, just stay in your space. You're spaced out between. They were doing a good job of keeping good spacing for an outdoor event. Personally, I don't think that it was like a health risk. Personally, I don't
Yeah.
think so,
It
but
doesn't sound like it. I mean, if you have a lot of people, it just depends on how close they are and what they're doing together, and if it's enclosed. And I think if you're actually in an outdoor area and you are kind of even halfway staying apart from each other, you're really just trying to limiting the risk, as opposed to like if you're in a
of contact,
bar and you're like,
right?
yeah,
limiting the risk of contact, physical contact, or some people say it's airborne, and like I could see maybe being less than 6 feet away is what they're calling airborne particles coming from your mouth when you speak is um, potential health risk. Um, Sneezing, coughing. For the most part, people wearing masks, it's like, I think that the only thing that the mask would actually protect other people from is speaking and the spittle, um, flying through the air to get you. Sneezing and coughing, you probably want to take your mask off when you do that because it's going to soak the thing, right?
yeah. But then you're also exposing other people. It kind of depends on where you're at. Like
So
I've had it where I've almost sneezed inside of a place, and I had to like do that hold in sneeze where like where it hurt your brain.
Right.
I didn't want to sneeze inside of a mask. I didn't want to sneeze outside the mask. I was like, oh god.
So when you feel like you're about to, sneeze or cough, when you just get up and walk out of the room, away from someone, like a group of people, that way you're not like spraying the room, right? That's like teach kind of a common sense of, hey, I'm about to sneeze. I need to walk into the bathroom, or I need to step outside. Yeah, most people don't really like fart in front of other people. They go to the bathroom to do it, so it doesn't like it's like a social common sense or a social what do you call it? What would you say like when you're like being social courtesy, when you're when you know that something could affect other people around you. Don't you think you want to be a little courteous to that? And that's I think my mind is I'll wear a mask when a store is requiring you to wear a mask, or any kind of location.
Yeah, I'll wear one regardless. Since it's going on, even if I'm in a small town just outside Austin where they really don't wear masks, I'll still wear a mask. I'll be the oddball. I think it'll help. I don't mind people thinking that I'm scared of the COVID or getting the virus, whatnot. Really, it's for the healthcare system, not for me or even the people that I am personally thinking I'm connected to. But the more people get sick and go to the hospitals, the more weight they have to carry. It's like I said earlier, it's kind of like they're taking out the dirty laundry. Like, it'd be great if we could just say, hey, let's just hit it. Let's all get sick or not get sick and see what happens. But really, that's easy for us to say that are going to the hospital, or those of us, of course, the ones that, majority of us that aren't even getting that sick. But really, the ones who just take that blunt are the ones in the healthcare system. Like y'all, please just slow down for a minute. Just
So we need to breathe. We're like overworked and underpaid right now. There's not enough people, right?
Yeah, I was talking to one of my patients, and they were saying that it's not even that they don't have enough nurses or the beds in some places, which they are running out of some beds in some places and such. But it's if you're a nurse or a doctor and you're working with the COVID patients, you can't work with other patients. So as soon as you start getting overloaded with more COVID people, that means your staff that's working with the COVID patients can't also work with other patients. So then you start your staff is limited in certain categories, so it's harder to manage.
Okay, so if there's a COVID patient that comes in, they're like, okay, you have to go in this door, in this location, and this is only people that have COVID will be treated, and then there's only staff for that area. So maybe the staff for the rest of the area starts getting depleted because they're all going over to the COVID side.
Yep.
And they probably have to wait a certain amount of time, like between the time that they actually work with a COVID patient before they're actually able to go back and work with non-COVID. Maybe 14 days is usually like there's a 10-day incubation or something. So within that 14 days, if you would know if you're sick, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the incubation period is, but I think it is something like that, 7 or 10. But this respiratory therapist from downtown Austin said that they have so much space for their respiratory patients, but now they're getting so overloaded with patients coming in with COVID that their regular patients who they see respiratory problems they're just having a hard time managing that area because now there's more and more bed space taken up by COVID. They have to push out some of the respiratory patients. And hospitals, they're trying to maximize, they're trying to make money, so they're often trying to work at 75, 80, 90% capacity because that's how they make their money. So as soon as you have another 10, 20, 30% of patients coming in from COVID, that means that you're already like trying to maximize your profits and keep your beds full to make the money. Now you're having to like size that down, make more bed space, or try to make room for the COVID patients.
And is insurance paying for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or if they have insurance, I mean, a lot of these patients going in probably don't even have insurance, and then I don't know
So
who's
how
gonna
they're
foot
getting
the bill.
paid?
I don't know who's
The
gonna foot
government,
the
is the
bill.
government paying for it? Or, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why they're trying to mandate the masks, like, you know, cut down on, if it does even cut down on it, you know, because there's arguments both ways. So, I mean, I think trying to protect, you know, your daily, like, I gotta, you know, I'm sick, I can't go to work, but you need a doctor's note, you know, to go to work deal. If those doctors aren't available, I think the masks are trying to help that situation out. Right?
And this really came up because we're, of course, talk a lot about disc golf. We're embedded in the disc golf world with the Black Zombie Disc Golf. But I'm also part of a group of tournament directors here in Texas, and just like any other state or any other tournament director, trying to figure out how to safely run a tournament. Not even as much as safely to do it, but how do we do it and comply with what they're saying, like wearing a mask outside. That makes it hard. Not saying as a disc golfer you can't play disc golf with a mask on, and there's all kind of arguments why you would even need one being outside with just a couple people, but it gets kind of hairy, it gets kind of confusing on what the message is really coming from the state the governors, the mayors, or whatnot, as to what they can do. And that's something that's going to be hard to solve as far as, you know, these big tournaments they have. You can't have all the spectators watching, so you're forced to watch it online, which is fine, but it still changes the dynamics of the game.
State by state?
State by state, county by county. In the thread that I'm on, they keep referring to not what the PDGA says, not what we think, but kind of what, not even what the governor says or the mayor, but kind of what your local counties. Like you're talking about, some counties are being more defiant than others, saying that we're not going to impose tickets or get people in trouble for not wearing a mask. That's infringing on their rights. So you have this level of control of certain bodies of people that are making those decisions. And it goes down to the county.
To the judge in the county. Mm-hmm. So the judge is like, I'm not going to, you know, tell the police, you know, I don't even write a ticket for it because I'm not going to enforce it. You know, that's to the, you know, you don't want to like get your police force out trying to like tie in their, you know, their resources up on writing tickets for not having a mask on when, you know, there's other more serious issues that they can be taken care of. And then the judges are like having to work a little overtime to make, you know, $250 tickets for people not wearing masks. And that's they're talking about that's per time, right? And I think the first time it's a written warning, and then after that you get so
I guess every state's going to be a little bit different. I think I read the written warning in Texas, then $250, then it might increase from there.
But they're not going to do jail time.
I mean, that'd be dumb to do jail time. I mean, I'm for enforcing it in the sense of like, hey, let's all mandate wear masks, but then I don't want cops out there ticketing people saying, hey, you're in trouble because you're not wearing a mask. Seems like it should be more of a respect thing. Everyone just do it so we can get through this and limit the infections. But then you have the argument, some people think masks aren't good, shouldn't wear them, and they're pissed off. And then you got the other ones that are pissed off because other people are saying they don't want to wear them. So that's another point. Like, if you have cops out there ticketing people for not wearing a mask, you just don't know what you're going to come across. So people are volatile. I mean, you can see it on the social media. They're mad.